This is a Daiwa Sealine X40 SHA, loaded with 40-pound monofilament. It's got what they call a felt drag, which is kind of old school, cheaper drag material. You're looking at a reel that retails around $125. Holds a ton of 40-pound mono. This is a Daiwa Saltist, black and gold. This is a 50 size. This holds even more 40-pound mono, probably well over 300 yards of 40-pound mono. It casts very well for a reel that holds this much line. Price tag on this one, you're looking around $230 to $250. The newer ones have got a black body with a blue handle and a blue spool. Those list for around $260. These are all metal body, whereas that Sealine has some plastic and graphite parts in the body. This reel here, you could load up with braid, take it to the beach and go shark fishing with it. Actually, you could with that reel over there too. This is a Daiwa Seagate SGT 35H. This is a lot of reel for the money. Probably the most reel for the money out of the three, considering what you pay for it and what you get. This reel is not a whole lot more expensive than the Sealine, but the internals of this reel are the same as the Saltist, minus one bearing. And what makes it cheaper is it has a body like the Sealine with the graphite side plates. It's a very light reel. This 35 size holds about as much mono as a 7,000 Garcia. So it's still a big reel as far as catfishing is concerned. I've got it loaded with 40-pound also. It gives me enough line to make a long cast and still have plenty left if a fish runs. One thing that all these reels have in common is none of them have a level wind, meaning when you reel the line in, I position my hand here, put my thumb over the line, and I go back and forth, and my thumb is the level one. Biggest reason for that is when you're casting as far as I do on a regular basis, a level wind won't last me no time. I'm always buying parts, replacing parts. It's a hassle. Another reason for that is a level wind does slow down your cast a little bit. You will lose a little bit of distance. And another thing about a non-level wind reel is the drag actually comes out smoother when it's not running back and forth through the level wind gear. So I believe the drag actually works more consistently, smoothly than a level wind reel does. Another thing that all three of these types of reels have in common is they'll cast a country mile. Another advantage of those Daiwa reels over the Abu Garcia is when I'm casting these kind of distances, I want to be able to retrieve my line quickly if I'm just wanting to check baits or recast or whatever. And also, if a fish takes off running in towards me, those reels have an advantage also. And what that is they have a much higher gear ratio. You're getting a whole lot more line per turn than what you will on an Abu Garcia. Another advantage those Daiwa reels have over an Abu Garcia or even Penn or some of the other ones is they have very loud but very simply designed, easy to repair clickers. All three of the clickers on those three reels, even though they're different kind of reels, different names of reels, and different size of reels, they all have the same clicker mechanism. I started out using Abu Garcias just like everybody else. Well, I started having the level line problems. And then I went to replace a few clickers, blah, blah, blah. And they all had these complicated clickers that had these little tiny springs and stuff. And none of them were consistent from reel to reel. A 6500 Abu would have a different type of clicker system than another 6500 Abu. Different than a 7000 or different than a 10,000. You open up the side plate on them Daiwas, it's all the same clicker. Every one of them. I can take one clicker out of that reel and put it in the other reel or put it in the other reel. A lot of interchangeability. And it's just so much easier. I've never had to install one actually. Never had a problem out of them. But I went to go to, I think my next reel when I tried to get away from Abu Garcia was I tried a pin squall. First thing that went out was the clicker. When I disassembled the reel and seen how that clicker was made, I threw the reel in the trash. I didn't want no part of that. I started on them Daiwa reels probably about 4 years ago, and I've just been happy with them. I don't have issues, I don't have problems. All the guys in the catfish world are using Abu Garcias, using these pins, or they're using cheaper stuff, Cast Kings, all these different reels, you know. I believe you get what you pay for, and I believe those reels, compared to what you get in an Abu Garcia reel, or even a pin reel, are pretty much the best bang for the buck. Is that Daiwa 50 size Saltist cheap? No, it ain't. But it's a solid reel with some good components, and it'll land tuna and sharks off the beach. You're not going to take a $60 reel and do that for very long. I keep getting asked by guys, what kind of reels am I using? What kind of reels am I using? Well, there you go. $125 to $250 price range. The Daiwa Seagate is the best reel out of the three for the money. You're looking at around, I've seen them as cheap as $129 on Amazon. You're not going to buy an Abu Garcia for $129 that's built as good as that. You buy an Abu Garcia equivalent to that Daiwa, you're going to pay $180 for it. And to me, it's still not equivalent to the Daiwa. Too slow, spool's too heavy, the gears are smaller, the drag washers are smaller. It's just inferior compared to that Daiwa. I've done had a dink bite on my rod to the right. That bait's probably gone. I'm fixing to make me a Catfish Dave style sausage biscuit. Basically, I buy 2 sausage biscuits. I completely throw the bread away on one. Take about half this top off, about half this bottom off. Now I can taste some meat. Getting a dink bite on the left. It never fails. If I'm fishing this park right here, I'm going to get harassed by some old dog. Old dinks are wearing it out this morning. There seems to be a hot dink bite going on to the right. And that's 2 pieces of skipjack I've had worn out. I'm not wasting my skipjack because I've only got 2. So I'm going to throw a small piece of this gizzard shad section. And if it's small fish that's here, well, I'm going to rig up to catch them. If I see something more promising, I'll put that skipjack back on. Old channel kit. Old dinky old blue kit. Typical fishing in the heat at this park. Couple of weeks of cool weather and this might actually be a good place to fish. Right now it's full of these small ones. All right, people, the sun's starting to come out. The cloud cover that was keeping that hot sun off me has went away. The Tennessee ball game is over and the boats are starting to cruise down the river. People are coming out, dogs. I ain't no mood for no dogs. Obviously this place is full of small fish right now during this hot weather we've been having. Still not fall yet. Basically, guys are asking me about my reels. That's what I use, man. Daiwa conventionals. After having all three of these sizes, I would say don't get the 50 size. It's overkill. It's way too big. This 35 size, which you can get in a Seagate or a Saltist, holds plenty of 40-pound line, and it gets you a really nice cast. You can see how much I emptied out of that reel. There's how you reel them in with your thumb. Your thumb is the level line. There's no level line to go out. Unless your thumb goes out. If that happens, you're just bad off. If you're a braid guy, I definitely wouldn't get no bigger than this reel right here because those reels are just overkill. Those things that hold 600 yards of braid, and who can afford that? Honestly, if I was throwing braid, I'd probably just get the 20 size. I like the 35. I like that 40 size Sealine. Hold tons of 40-pound line, all you need. They cast great. As you can see by this forward shifted gear, these are the new style reels. Abus are the old round style. These just got bigger gears, better drag stacks, simpler clickers, a lot faster retrieve when you go to pull your line in. To me, that right there, you can find these for like $129 on Amazon right now. Sometimes they're $150 if you buy them through a more expensive source. But for 129 bucks, I don't know of a 7,000 Garcia that is as good as this, you know what I mean? So that's why I use the Daiwas. I'm happy with them. Six miles, people. If you fish big rivers like I do, you're after big fish like I am, you fish just about every weekend. sometimes more. This is the kind of reel you need. If you're fishing some small river, you hardly ever get a fish over 10, 20 pounds. You don't need anything like this. Go get you a little Akuma, a little Cast King, a little 6500 Nabu, and enjoy your fishing. But if you're after the big boys, you're making long casts and dealing with bigger cats and even stripers like I do here in the Tennessee River, that's the reel right there. Here comes the crowd. It's time for me to go. This is a video. There was a couple fish in the video, even though they weren't much. That makes it a fishing video. This is Catfish Dave from Admiral Farragut Park, Knoxville, Tennessee, signing out.